Well, ladies and gentlemen, it finally happened. We have made it to July 29th, 2016 in Japan, and we have made it to the release of Shin Gojira, aka Shin Godzilla, aka Godzilla Resurgence. Toho's return to making Godzilla movies in Japan in their home studio since 2004's Final Wars, and as a result, a lot of spoilers have leaked today for the design. So this is your last chance. This video is going to contain heavy spoilers and spoiler speculation. So if you don't want to have any spoilers spoiled for you for the movie and you want to go into it blind, this is your last chance to leave the video. And I'm going to give you a 5-second countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, anybody still here is okay with spoilers. A lot of details got leaked about Godzilla Resurgence this morning, and let's start with a big one. Yes, the three forms is confirmed. Godzilla does have three forms in this movie. He starts off not as a tadpole, as rumors have suggested, but what is being described on the Toho Kingdom forums and what a picture shows is the first form is kind of a turkey Godzilla form. We don't have those clear shots, but I'm going to post the image right now so you can all see it. Anyway, this is Godzilla's first form. The shot is blurry. I know you can't see it that well. His second form is being described as kind of dinosaur-like. Here's the picture here. I will show you on the second form. He's got big eyes. He actually looks a little more normal than Shin Gojira looks. He looks more traditional in this form, but I'm hearing from people, once again on Toho Kingdom, who did see the movie, that the picture is, it's not 100% clear, and that this form doesn't look any more like a traditional Godzilla than Shin Gojira does. Then his third and final form, which is his most powerful form, is the one we've seen in all the trailers and all the marketing. It's his final form with the big hips from the side, the 118.5 meter high Shin Gojira. That's his final form in the film, and that's the one he will take after he finishes evolving. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is we got confirmation that the atomic breath is purple, and we've also got spoiler images of this, but we also found out that it's not really an atomic breath that we're used to. It's more like an atomic laser beam. Anybody who's seen the giant God Warrior marches on Tokyo knows what this beam looks like. I'm hearing that it looks similar to the giant God Warriors purple beam, which was also made by Anno and Higuchi. I hope I said the director's names right. Anyway, the movie is similar. The beam is similar to that. It's really skinny and it's more like an actual laser beam versus being his regular atomic breath. The color is purple, as I said before, and on top of that, we also got confirmation. There was a rumor from Bob Angleton that said Godzilla could fire a beam out of his tail. We got confirmation that that is true. Godzilla can fire an atomic, his laser beam. It's not even really atomic. Well, yeah, it's his atomic breath. He can fire it out of his mouth like normal. He can also fire it from his tail, but the big surprise about that is he can also fire the laser from his back. And when he does this, it's like, you can see in the picture below, it's like 5 or 10 lasers all going off at the back. Furthermore, according to the rumors, he has a sixth sense that he knows when enemies are attacking him, so he knows when the military is going to attack him. I guess that's when the atomic lasers from the back are going to go off. That doesn't really bother me because Godzilla always had a sixth sense in the movies. He was able to sense the Space Hunter M contacting Gigan and King Ghidorah all the way from Earth. He listened to the Mutos in Godzilla 2014. I can get into different details about Godzilla 6th Sense later, but I'm glad Toho's finally acknowledging it. Now, the big thing I want to discuss here is people are comparing Shin Gojira to Godzilla 98. And this is going to open a can of worms. This is just my opinion, but whoever compares Shin Gojira to Godzilla 98 doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. They're just talking out of their ass. Look, you don't have to like Shin Gojira. You don't have to like how far it's taken Godzilla from his traditional self. It's not Godzilla 98 in the slightest. Let me tell you the reason Godzilla 98 was hated on by the fans and why Shin Gojira is completely different. Godzilla 98 was a radical redesign. Shin Gojira is a radical redesign, but not to the degree Godzilla 98 is. I would argue Shin Gojira is more traditional to Godzilla than Godzilla 2000 even was. Godzilla 2000 was a radical redesign, and that's one of people's favorite suits now. And Shin Gojira is even enjoyed by some of the people that see it now. Like, it's at least, I'd have to poll people, but to my knowledge, it's at least half and half. Half love it, half don't love it. When we got those leaked pictures back in January, I didn't really care for it. It didn't bother me. I said I was going to wait to see the suit in action, see it in CGI. Now that I've seen it in action, it doesn't bother me. I like Shin Gojira's design, but like I said, the reason it's not 98, okay, one, radical redesign. Both of them are radical, nowhere near the same degree as 98. Second reason it's not 98, no breath weapon. Just because Shin Gojira can fire a breath out his back and fire it out of tail, just because Toho hasn't done that before, Godzilla is Toho's baby. They are allowed to take it to fight. I know this is a double standard and this is hypocrisy, but I can accept Toho introducing and taking Godzilla farther than if Toho would have made the 98 Godzilla for... Okay, here's an example. Godzilla's series came out after the movie. It was the same design, but they gave Godzilla his powers. They gave him his atomic breath back. They gave him his durability. And he acted like Showa Godzilla. And I love Godzilla 98, the series. I would even love Godzilla 98, the movie, if it would have just been a live-action version of the series. But Godzilla 98 was running from the military. And when the military finally got one shot on him, or her, when they finally got one shot on it, they were able to take down Godzilla 98 easily. The military in Shin Gojira, you can see from the trailers, they're not doing anything to Shin Gojira. He's a big lumbering beast. G98 was a slim dinosaur that was running around New York laying eggs. Shin Gojira is not laying eggs, and now that brings me to another reason people say this isn't a real Godzilla. They say because there's a rumor Godzilla can replicate. Now, here's the reason Godzilla replicating, just because he's never done it before. This is why this is still a Godzilla trait. If you look at Shin Gojira, he looks like if you take everything set by Godzilla before and you take it to further extreme. If you compare what a bomb victim looks like after like keloid scars and how the Japanese people that were bombed in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Godzilla was supposed to look like that back in 54. You can see his skin was burned like that, but he looked healed up. Shin Gojira just looks like even more like those bomb victims, just taken to a further extreme. If Godzilla was... Okay, movies now are able to go further than they did back in the 50s and the 60s. Like, they can gross you out more and go more extreme with the design. Shin Godzilla just looks like a more extreme version of 54. If somebody looked at 54 and said, how can we make this look closer to a person that was in a nuclear disaster? That's all it looks like. As for the replication, in the Heisei series, Toho introduced the idea that Godzilla could regenerate wounds and that his cells were able to make clones of themselves, and that can even lead to immortality. In Godzilla 2000, they further fleshed out him regenerating with Organizer G1, which he was able to heal wounds. If you think about how healing works in other movies and other like anime or manga or TV shows, and you look at Organizer G1, it's just a more extreme version of that. If the way Godzilla regenerates, fans have even discussed this before. If you blow a big enough chunk off of Godzilla, would it form another Godzilla? I mean, this isn't the first time fans have actually questioned if Godzilla could grow another Godzilla from his cells. This is just Toho taking his super regenerative powers that he's always had from years and pushing it a little further to the extreme. It's also enforcing his name Godzilla, because if the cloning thing is true, I'm hearing different rumors now. I'm hearing that he makes other Godzillas. He can make other Godzillas, or I'm even hearing he can make people now. humans. Like I say, these are all rumors. Some of these are 99% confirmed. I'm not going to confirm anything till I actually see the movie, but you can pretty much go 99% confirmed with the breath and with the forms because we have pictures of those. But anyway, like I was saying, if he can make other Godzillas, other humans, in the Bible it says God created Christians in his image. Godzilla is just creating either more of himself or people in his image now, which is reinforcing the name Godzilla in his name. He's a god. That's how Toho's wanted him to be presented before. They're just pushing that name to the extreme now. He's creating people in his own image. He's creating other Godzillas in his own image, if that's true. He's just pushing. Anno and Higuchi just took everything Godzilla, everything Shin Gojira has. You can find the starting points for it in all the older Godzilla movies. It's just pushed so far to the extreme, people don't recognize it. Comparing Shin Gojira to the regular Godzilla movies are like comparing Super Saiyan 1 to Super Saiyan 3. Super Saiyan 3 is just pushed Super Saiyan 1 to the extreme, but if you sit down, take the time, dissect it, and don't get all upset and compare it to Godzilla 98, you can see everything Shin Gojira has done up to this point can be traced back to the earlier traditional Godzilla movies that people like. I don't understand why people are... Like I say, you can hate Shin Gojira if you want, but don't call it Godzilla 98 and don't say Anno and Higuchi ruined Godzilla for you before you even see the movie. Especially when, like you say, I've been a Godzilla fan for 20 years now. If you sit down and watch the earlier movies and pay attention to Godzilla's power set and how Godzilla is set up in the past, Shin Gojira has just pushed those same things to the extreme. Another member on Toho Kingdom where I go to even compared it to, it's almost like Toho fused Godzilla and Hedra. So what if Toho decided to get a little extreme and try something new with Godzilla? We need something new with Godzilla. Toho, I love them for what they did. I said back in the day, the only thing I wanted Toho to do was please make it different from Godzilla 2014. We have two completely different Godzillas running around right now, separate from each other. Legendary Godzilla is our traditional Godzilla in America. Shin Gojira is something new Toho is trying. I just wish they would have got something new with that roar. But I'm hearing rumors now he's supposed to use the 54 roar, the Showa 62 roar from King Kong vs. Godzilla, and then the 84 through 91 Cyclone roar, which is my personal favorite roar that Godzilla has ever used on film. But yeah, it's not Godzilla 98, guys. Godzilla 98, just because Godzilla looks different. Like you say, I don't know why. I guess because I wasn't on the internet back in the day. If people are complaining about Shin Gojira because he looks this different, they should have really tore Godzilla 2000 apart. Because Godzilla 2000 arguably looks farther away from a traditional Godzilla than Shin Gojira looks. I mean, Shin Gojira looks like the Heisei Godzilla gained a little more weight. If you post shots of him next to 54, he looks almost like Godzilla 1954. And knowing about Anno and Evangelion, I thought they were going to take this even further extreme. I'm hearing rumors now that the way he gets beat in the end of the movie, they're supposed to freeze him with cadmium. If you remember cadmium from back in the day, that's what they used to knock out Heisei Godzilla in 84. They stopped him, his atomic ray, and then they knocked him out with the second dose. The Super X used it, but the same ending, I believe in Godzilla the game for the PS4, the ending was they used cadmium to freeze Godzilla and that. Another ending I'm hearing is that he just walks back into the sea, like I said. I'm hearing different things from different people. The real bad thing I heard is that he has the same amount of screen time as Godzilla 14. I've never addressed Godzilla 14 on this channel before, like I said. Godzilla 14 makes 50 to 100 million more dollars at the box office if you put a 90-second fight at Hawaii between Godzilla and the male Muto, and then when Godzilla and the male are about to fight in San Francisco right before the Halo jump, you extend that scene 45, 60 seconds and let them fight. I think that movie makes at least 50 million more dollars. It could possibly make 100 million more dollars, but this is a Shin Gojira spoiler topic. This has nothing to do with Godzilla 14. Anyway, like I said, there are practical effects in the film. There are a puppet or a muppet. I'm gonna just go with a puppet. I'm not 100% sure it's a prop, but most of this is CGI. Toho tried to make the CGI look like a suit. And for the tail, why is the tail looking like that? I'm hearing rumors now the tail is actually how he creates either these humans that he creates or how he creates these other Godzillas. I've heard a small Godzilla with a cobra-like head that shoots a ray out of its tail was supposed to come and attack people. I've heard that there's going to be multiple Godzilla heads in the tail. You can kind of see something looking like that in the tail from the trailer. Then another rumor I heard, he makes humans even, or The Walking Dead. I heard somebody said this Godzilla is just unstoppable. He's basically the Armageddon. There's pictures of him nuking Tokyo with his new breath. It's supposed to be powerful. This has been billed as the strongest Godzilla ever, so he's stronger than Final Wars, he's stronger than Burning Godzilla, he's stronger than Legendary Godzilla, and he is just the apocalypse right now, walking the earth. I've heard different things. He's supposed to be, if you let him in the water too long, he poisons the water, so they actually want to keep him on land as he turns the water red and toxic. I've heard another ending say they're going to drive a train to him and kill him with poison. I'm starting to go with maybe the cadmium ending personally because that allows Toho to bring Godzilla back later if they want to make a sequel to this film. I heard they killed the big Godzilla and the little Godzilla is supposed to survive, leaving it ambiguous. Right now, I'm going to go with the theory there's no tadpole. We're going to get this turkey Godzilla. Once again, need to see a better picture of him. We're going to get a more dinosaur-like Godzilla. Then we're going to get Shin Gojira in all his glory. And like I said, everybody, you don't have to like Shin Gojira, but wait till you judge it. And it is not Godzilla 98 in the slightest. This thing looks like Godzilla. Godzilla, if you just showed a picture of Godzilla 98 to a Godzilla fan back in 98 without telling them, hey, does this look like Godzilla to you without them knowing about the movie, they would have said no. You just take Shin Gojira to non-fans to just vaguely know Godzilla to that. Like, my mom and grandmother, they know of Godzilla, they like it nowhere near me. I showed them the picture, their explanation was just, what the hell happened to Godzilla? Like, what's wrong? Why does he look like that? So like I say, it's still recognizable with Godzilla. It has an atomic breath. Just because it has a different variation doesn't make it Godzilla 98. It's big and slow and lumbering, like Godzilla. Its tail drags behind him even though it's flopping in the air, like Godzilla. It's made by Toho. The military can't hurt him. It's supposed to be the strongest Godzilla ever. You don't have to like Shin Gojira, but it is not, for the last time I stress, it is not Godzilla 98, okay? So let's stop that. I'll be making a follow-up video to this. I might even preview it. I'm not going to watch the movie raw. I'm going to try to wait for it to get subs. I'm hearing it's supposed to be released in November. I'm also hearing NECA wants to have their Shin Gojira figure out for when the movie arrives over here. The Monster Art is coming out in December, so hopefully Christmas or Thanksgiving we'll have a new Godzilla movie out that we can watch in the United States. Anyway, I've been Miguel Nuva, and I'm signing off. And we made it, folks. This is Shin Gojira. I'm Miguel Nuva, and if you enjoyed this video, please like, rate, comment, and subscribe. Have an enjoyable day.